Sairam students, and welcome back to this session. Today we'll continue with chapter 5 of our moments, that is The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. Now let's do a quick recap of whatever we have learned in the previous sessions. It is a story of a prince and a little swallow. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue covered with gold, ruby, rare sapphires. He had never faced sorrow nor shed a tear. He was very happy. He lived very happily in his palace. Moving ahead, the swallow took shelter at the feet of the statue. There was a swallow which had migrated and it had taken shelter at the feet of the statue. The happy prince could see the misery and sorrows of the people of the city. He was high up there in the town column, so he could see all the misery that was present in the city. The swallow became the messenger of the prince to help the needy. So the swallow was actually to go to Egypt, but the prince asked him to stay back and be a messenger to help the people who were in need. So let's see. He took the ruby from the sword hilt and sent it to the seamstress whose son was ill. So the ruby in his sword hilt, the handle of the sword, he took it to the seamstress, that is a female tailor, whose son was also very sick. He sent one sapphire to the playwright who was hungry and was unable to work due to the cold. As we saw that how he gave one sapphire, plucked it from his eye. The prince did not allow the swallow to go to Egypt. He had also decided to give the other sapphire to the other person, that is the match girl. Now let's continue with the lesson. What happened, what he did with the match girl, how he helped. So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted down with it. He swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm on her hand. "What a lovely bit of glass!" cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. So here the prince now plucked off his other eye, the other sapphire also, and decided to help the match girl because she had not earned a penny on that particular day, as she had spoilt all the matchsticks and she would have been hit by her father. So the prince decided to help, and the swallow took this jewel to her and slipped it down into her palm. She was really thrilled and ran home laughing. Then the swallow came back to the prince. "You are blind now," he said, "so I will stay with you always." Now when the swallow came back to the prince, he was really sad. He felt really unhappy because now the prince had turned blind. Both his eyes were plucked. So he decided that he would stay with the prince throughout. He would not go to Egypt. "No, little swallow," said the poor prince, "you must go away to Egypt." Now the prince was insisting that the swallow moves to Egypt and joins his friend out there. We'll continue. "No, I will stay with you always," said the swallow, and he slept at the prince's feet. So now the swallow was so engrossed in helping the people in need that he decided that he would stay there and slept at the prince's feet. All the next day he sat on the prince's shoulder and told him stories of what he had seen in the strange lands. So he used to narrate whatever he had seen wherever the swallow had traveled. he used to narrate these stories to the prince. "Dear little swallow," said the prince, "you tell me of marvelous things, but more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. There is no mystery so great as misery. Fly over my city, little swallow, and tell me what you see there." So here now the prince is telling that there are lot of marvelous things which the swallow was narrating. However, the mystery of the misery that is taking place, people who are suffering, that is a great mystery. So we need to do something for the men and women. So he requested the swallow to fly over the city and find out whatever is happening there, and to see what type of misery, what type of problems people are facing, so that they could help them out. So the swallow flew over the great city and saw the rich making merry in their beautiful houses, while the beggars were sitting at the gates. He flew into dark lanes and saw the white faces of starving children looking out listlessly at the black streets. So the swallow was moving through the city. He could see that the rich people were enjoying themselves in their houses. However, the beggars were sitting out at the gates. They had nothing, no shelter, no food. He flew into the dark lanes and saw that children were starving. They had nothing to eat, and they were really in trouble. Under the archway of a bridge, two little boys were lying in each other's arms to try and keep themselves warm. "How hungry we are," they said. "You must not lie here," shouted the watchman, and they wandered out into the rain. So as he was flying through the city, he saw that there were these two little boys who were sitting under the bridge and trying to keep themselves warm because it was pretty cold out there. Also, they were talking amongst themselves that they were so hungry. However, the watchman out there sent them away from that place, shouting that they should not be seen anywhere in the vicinity. So they had to move out. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. "I am covered with fine gold," said the prince. "You must take it off leaf by leaf and give it to the poor. The living always think that gold can make them happy." So now when the swallow came back and narrated whatever he had seen, the prince said that he needs to take out the gold that he was covered with, leaf by leaf, and distribute it among the poor, because the people who live, they feel that gold is something that can make someone really happy. So we need to distribute this gold to the poor so that they can live happily in their life. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold the swallow picked off, till the happy prince looked quite dull and grey. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children's faces grew rosier, and they laughed and played in the street. "We have bread now," they cried. So everything, every part of his body, the statue of the happy prince, which was covered with gold, was taken off by the swallow. He distributed all this gold amongst the poor, and he could see that the children were really happy. They had something to eat. They were really enjoying themselves. He could see the children's faces were glowing. However, all the gold, all the jewels out of the statue, the prince actually looked really dull. There was no glow on the prince statue. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. The streets looked as if they were made of silver. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore scarlet caps and skated on the ice. So now, when it was snowing, the winter had set in, there was snow everywhere. The entire streets looked as if they were made of silver. Everybody was happy. They had clothing. The boys were wearing caps and they were skating on the ice very happily. Moving ahead, the poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but he would not leave the prince. He loved him too well. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking and tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. Now, here, because of the cold, the swallow was not able to take that particular cold, was not able to bear the cold. However, the swallow was not ready to leave the prince because he loved him so much. He loved him, he loved the work he was doing. So, what he used to do, he used to pick up crumbs from the baker's shop when the baker was not around so that his hunger could be satisfied, and would keep flapping his wings to keep himself warm because of the cold outside. However, he decided that he would not leave the prince. But at last, he knew that he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more. "Goodbye, dear prince," he murmured. "Will you let me kiss your hand?" So now the swallow understood that he was not able to survive the winter, he was not able to survive in the cold, and would die very soon. So he tried to fly up to the prince's shoulder just once, and he bid goodbye to him and said that he would like to kiss him on his hand. "I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow," said the prince. "You have stayed too long here, but you must kiss me on the lips, for I love you." So now here the prince thought that he was leaving for Egypt. He was unaware that the swallow was not able to survive in the cold. So the prince suggested that he should kiss him on the lips because he loved him a lot and he had helped him serve the people all throughout the winter, all throughout his stay out there. "It is not to Egypt that I am going," said the swallow. "I am going to the house of death. Death is the brother of sleep, is he not?" So now here the swallow declared that he was not going to Egypt but was going to die. He was going to the house of death. He also said that death is the brother of sleep. Okay, he was going into deep sleep. As he kissed the happy prince on the lips and fell down dead at his feet. So he kissed the prince on the lips and he fell down at his feet. He was dead. He was no more. Continue. At that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue as if something had broken. The fact is that the leaden heart had snapped right in two. It certainly was a dreadfully hard frost. Now, as soon as the swallow died, there was a loud sound, a cracking sound heard from the statue, from inside the statue, as if something had broken. It was the heart, the leaden heart, the heart made of lead, which had snapped because of the frost, because of the cold. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking in the square below in company with the town councillors. As they passed the column, he looked up at the statue. Dear me, how shabby the happy prince looks, he said. So, as the mayor was taking rounds across the town, the councillors, that is, the members of the council, they saw that the statue was not very beautiful. It looked very shabby. This was the remark that the mayor made, that the happy prince was no more looking beautiful. He was very shabby. How shabby indeed, cried the town councillors, who always agreed with the mayor, and they went up to look at it. So they too agreed with the mayor, saying that it was not beautiful, it was really shabby. The ruby has fallen out of his sword, his eyes are gone, and he is golden no longer, said the mayor. In fact, he is little better than a beggar. So the mayor declared that he was a beggar because he had lost everything. He was no longer beautiful. Little better than a beggar, said the town councillors. And here is actually a dead bird at his feet, continued the mayor. We must really issue a proclamation that birds are not to be allowed to die here. And the town clerk made a note of the suggestion. So they agreed that he was really looking like a beggar. The statue was no longer beautiful. Also, he made a declaration, a proclamation that birds should not be allowed to die because they make the place even more shabby. So they pulled down the statue of the happy prince. As he is no longer beautiful, he is no longer useful, said the art professor at the university. So they pulled down, they took off the statue of the happy prince because he no longer looked beautiful nor useful. Then they melted the statue in a furnace. What a strange thing, said the overseer of the workmen at the foundry. This broken lead heart will not melt in the furnace. We must throw it away. So they threw it on a dust heap where the dead swallow was also lying. So as they were melting the statue, they found that this particular heart, which is made of lead, was not melting. So they just threw it in the heap of dust where also the dead swallow was lying. Bring me the two most precious things in the city, said God to one of his angels, and the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. So the people of the town, they just threw them away, threw the heart away and the swallow. However, God's angels came down and brought the leaden heart and the dead bird to God, saying that these are the most precious things in the city. You have rightly chosen, said God, for in my garden of paradise this little bird shall sing forevermore, and in my city of gold the happy prince shall praise me. So God thanked the angels, saying that these were the most precious things in the city and it was rightly chosen by the angels, for this bird would continue singing in his garden of paradise, that is heaven, and the happy prince would keep praising him in his city of gold, in the God's paradise, God's heaven. So the deeds that they did in their lifetime paid well because God had chosen them for their land, for the work they had done. Okay, so students, now let's see what message we get, what we learn from this particular story. We must spread happiness around us. So we spread happiness, we remain happy. Disparity and sorrow can be overcome by compassion, generosity, and sharing. We must be sensitive to the sufferings of the people and give them timely help. So we need to be really compassionate and generous and be ready to share things with people who are in distress, people who are in trouble, and render timely help. When they need help, we need to give that help to them. We need to be really sensitive. The story teaches us the values or virtues of kindness, pity, and sacrifice towards others. The prince and the swallow sacrifice themselves to help the poor and needy. The power of love for the mankind made them live forever as the precious and chosen ones of God. So their kindness, their sacrifices made them the most precious things on the earth. They were the chosen ones of God. So we need to be really kind and do some kind of sacrifice to help the others. Okay, students, I hope you have understood the lesson well. Now just go through all the value points that are given in the chapter value points. Go through them, make a note of it as to what the chapter deals with, what the story deals with. Moving ahead. So what the prince did when he was alive, how he was placed in the town column, how the swallow entered, the tears falling on the swallow, and what help the prince needed. He decided to make the swallow his messenger. He carried the orders, he followed the commands of the prince. He helped the needy people, which included the seamstress, the young man, the match girl, and many others. This prince had distributed all his jewels, but however, the swallow dies because of the exposure to the cold. He was not able to bear the cold. And how the prince's heart cracks because of the loss. So the statue was taken off from its place from the column because it was no longer beautiful. However, the heart made of lead did not melt. It was thrown away along with the dead swallow. But they lived forever in heaven because of the good work that they did. So students, I hope you've understood the lesson. Go through the story again. Now you'll get a link. You have to answer the questions given there and submit the same in that particular link. Thank you.